you know, I think things have just sort of fell my way. Like I've just hung in, tried to get one, give one away sort of thing without trying to drop numbers. So I think all my sets have been really close and, you know, I haven't dropped any major scores really. Paul was probably just off his game a little bit, so he gave me a bit of a sniff and, you know, I seemed to sort of come over the top of him. When you look at the scores, I think on paper it may have been, but it was a lot harder than what it was, you know. I think, you know, I played really well, probably my best game to date. I felt pretty confident in every game, you know, but I felt that I've had to play well at the same time. So, you know, I think a good thing in my game is I haven't been able to give away too many big numbers like I was saying before. I've kept it really tight when I've had to, and when I've had to add an extra one, I've managed to do that, and probably been a telling point in some sets that I've got away with. Certainly against Greg it was 6-4, to pull a 6-all draw I think in the second.
No doubt. It's red. Greg Harlow is defeated.
Greg's been on a roll of late, won the International Open only, you know, 3 weeks ago, so to actually beat the guys, you know, just a big bonus to me, and to get into the final was an absolute thrill.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the finalists in the Scottish International Open 2006 from Australia, Kelvin Kerkow. And facing Kelvin today from Glasgow, David Gourlay. Right, gentlemen, before we start this final, I know you're raring to get going, but first of all, Kelvin, I've been hearing a bit about your superstition, and I understand that you don't change your socks in a competition if you're doing well. So what's this, day 6 or day 7 with these ones?
It's actually game 5, so it's not as bad as it sounds. Yeah, just one of those things I have in my mind, whether it works or not. It works sometimes. But yeah, I won the Commonwealth Games gold medal this year wearing the same socks for 10 days, so this is only 5.
So, David, obviously you're not going to get very close to him during this match, but if you would mind just to stand there so we can see you on the camera. But do you have any superstitions that you take into these matches?
Yeah, I think all the guys have superstitions, you know, like the first day I play, I practiced at 8 o'clock and I won, so then every day I've got to practice at 8 o'clock, every single day. So, strange, I know, but that's how it goes.
It's amazing. So down here at 8 o'clock in the morning. Now, I know earlier on the week, Kelvin, I was talking to you and you were quite ebullient about the Ashes. You've been watching that, and Australia doing well in the first test, won that, of course. Did you stay up late last night to watch England doing rather better?
Funny you brought that up. Yeah, good on England. Yeah, well, obviously it might be an Ashes win today. We'll get back.
Yeah, you did say that Australia would win the series 4-1, of course. Now let's talk a bit about bowls as well, David. Your form this week. You had a couple of difficult matches at the start, got through in the last bowl of the tie break, but your form seems to have got better every day.
Yeah, I think, you know, we all agree, you know, the more you practice on the rink, the better you get. And at the beginning of the tournament, the first game's always the hardest. You know, the more time you got on the rink, the more comfortable we all feel, really.
And I know, Kelvin, you've been enjoying your time here in Scotland, your second occasion here at the Scottish International Open, and again, you're another one. You seem to be getting better as the week goes on.
Yeah, it's always good just to get the extra games on the carpet, you know, like the first game's always probably the hardest because you haven't had much practice time, and as you get into the games, you sort of get a feel of it and get to know the lengths and the side of the green a lot more, so it's always good to have as many games as you can.
Absolutely, and this is the final one today. We're looking forward to it. Ladies and gentlemen, your finalists in the Scottish International Open 2006, David Gourlay and Kelvin Kerkow. And enjoy this match live on BBC One Scotland this afternoon in the company of our commentary team, David Corkill and Paul Mitchell.
And welcome everybody to the commentary box, where we've witnessed some fantastic bowling throughout this week, and there's no reason, David, why today won't be any different.
I don't think it will be, Paul, to be honest with you. I think Kelvin knows that he wasn't in absolutely top form in the semi-final, but just got over the line. David Gourlay has been absolutely fantastic, really, since he had the scare in the first round. And he's coming out with those big bowls, but there'll be a relaxation between the two players because they've got the ranking points. They don't need to worry about that now. Go out there and play for the title.
Scottish International Open up for grabs. David Gourlay won the toss, elected to give the jack away. Kelvin opening up on the forehand. David on the backhand. Both these players right-handed. Kelvin moving to the backhand.
Last word is 10 inches short of the jack. 18 inches.
Well, this line is very good indeed. It's all about pace. The ball, as the weight comes off, the bias takes effect. Hanging in the centre of the ring.
One down, one red.
Kelvin just inquiring of our marker, Mike Davies, if he was lying short or not. He was told he wasn't. He wants that just to hurry a little. And that's why.
One green. One green.
What's the gap?
2.5 inches.
Marble.
4 inches.
Well, David trying to pick out that similar line to his previous ball. Hope to rest it. Just a little bit pushy.
One green.
Find the middle of the rink as well before he got to touch. No problem with the line, it's all about pace. And Kelvin has to be very careful here. He doesn't really want to touch the jack in the backhand. There's a shot in the forehand if he wants to play it.
Line one looking for a second just to rest gently on David Gourlay's red balls.
Well, he's being very careful. He pushed the ball out in a slightly high line, but the problem with doing that is he's left a shoulder which David Gourlay can use. He can drop off that green ball and get the shot.
Looks just a little bit thin.
One shot to green.
Well, they've opened up very well indeed. But Kelvin Kerkow proving too he could catch that backhand, and he takes the opening shot of the match. So these players both playing with the same type of balls. The Taylor Ace, David Gourlay's just a size bigger than Kelvin Kerkow's.
As you'll see from this action, David Gourlay, traditional and on the knee. The ball away beautifully smooth. So does Kelvin, but you'll see Kelvin using a stick just to give him a little bit of balance. And the reason for that is that he suffered with Barry syndrome when he was young. He was off his feet for a couple of years and it's caused a weakness in his ankles. He needs the stick just to give him that bit of balance, and it's been discussed a lot over the years whether it's an advantage or not, but the top players have never passed any comment upon it as such. Obviously Kelvin's had to adapt to using it.
1 red.
And you see the stick moving forward with Kelvin, and it's just takes a little bit of pressure off his lead foot, which obviously all the weight transfers to on delivery. Well, any end where a player is going to be loose will be punished. No doubt about that.
2 red.
Kelvin Kerkow hasn't won both sets of any of his matches on this route to the final. He's had more tied ends than any other player, reflecting how tight the matches have been.
It was interesting there, Paul. He played the forehand, and the forehand was bringing the jack into the red balls. It looked like an obvious shot on the backhand. I just wonder why he didn't play it. There was a ball to rest, a jack to run through, and he's just decided that the forehand is the hand for him. But it's a bad end, this one. And this ball needs to pull back very strong to get the centre of the rink.
It's a wider line, but he's got another result. There we go.
This is a problem for
3 red.
Kelvin. Ideally, he would have liked to have played the backhand now to get out of trouble. But he's got a short ball slightly in the way.
Well, he's never slow to go and disturb ahead, but he's played 3. No chance for a recovery.
Well, I have a feeling that he might be better to attack this on the backhand and hope for a good result. To try and draw it. If he gets caught in the short ball, he's in a heap of trouble. This could be controlled weight. It is. This is the percentage shot. Hit into some of the balls or the jack and hope for a good result. Got the jack, has he? He has, all the way. And a very good result with it on the respot. He's going to be lying a single.
Well, we've seen him strike a couple of heads this week, but he also plays tremendously well with just controlled weight. And that's precisely what he did. Wanted to make sure he would get something. Plenty of choice. A little kiss from the red ball.
Well, I think that was the best possible result for Kelvin going through the gap. Made it hard for himself this end. Oh, he's on the water already. Very hot out there, of course. This ball's nearly a metre away from the jack. I think David will be just drawing to it. He'd have been tempted to take the ball out if it had been closer, but it's far enough away to say I can draw the shot. Well, he's still making his mind up. He's going for the ball. That surprises me a little bit. He's normally very good on his forehand. And he's good again. Well, he was undecided all the way to the mat.
One shot to red.
If you get the shot, it's the right shot. And in this case, just went with a controlled weight. And having won the final 4 ends against Robert Whale in his semi-final, the second set, the 2 in the tie-break, he gets on the card in the second end of the Scottish International Open final. He's well played again, but that's quite interesting. David, he's normally gone on the backhand when he's been playing this way.
Yes, I think he felt on the first hand the ball was just not getting back in time. He was finding the centre of the rink. Interesting that Kelvin's followed him on it as well. There's an immediate shift to the other side. Two very good lead balls. Obviously this portable rink is playing well here at the Jurors Centre.
Kelvin's ball past the jack. Yes, whole ball past.
Wasn't far away with that either. So on the backhand. And again, a lovely attempt from Kelvin Kerkow, the Australian internationalist.
Well, just a conservative shot by David Gourlay to try and touch his own ball. Didn't get back. I just wonder, maybe a better shot in the backhand. There's more chances there.
Might try and just nudge his own for the second shot. And just draw around it like that.
He didn't need it, but it's set up a target. There's no doubt about that. And I think David Gourlay will be coming through this.
Two green.
It's probably better he plays this on the backhand, though. The danger in the forehand's getting an edge off his own ball, going through the gap between the two green.
Well, it's a fairly juicy looking target to hit, to be fair. Let's see what he does.
Well, close to the jack. Pinball stuff. But I think it's going to be good for Gourlay.
Marker Mike Davies just puts it on the race spots. It's advantage red, but Kelvin Kerkow will expect
one red
just to come in and draw the shot.
Oh, good strike by David on the backhand, knowing that get the jack, you have a chance of getting it all the way through. Bounced about a bit, but the most he can lose is a single.
Well, he's got acres to draw in, but where's he going? Well, what's the boundary?
It did look bad, but to be honest with you, Kelvin was more worried about his outside ball.
One shot to green.
That's what forced him inside.
Well, they make the difficult look easy, and the easy sometimes look a little difficult, but he was concerned when he came across. And like most of the ends in the semi-finals, and indeed the quarter-finals, the single, the most common result.
On the teammate. Yes, David.
David Gourlay just asking if the jack is spotted on the tee. Gauge the exact length.
It's interesting again as well that he's sticking to the forehand, even though the green ball, while it's not in the way, it certainly doesn't help. That's a bit pacey. The backhand's wide open. It's a good hand, the backhand.
2 foot shorter jack high.
We'll see where this ball goes, but I would expect David to move to the backhand at some stage.
Just slightly to the side, so the backhand. Gourlay with a smooth grip on the ball.
Oh, this is better. This is a lot better. Very close to catching the ball. Didn't get it solid. Just dropped off the edge. Kelvin will follow.
Yeah, just one green.
Is this ball jack high?
A whole ball short.
The players can, sorry David, the players can come down and look after 3 shots, but they can ask permission to come down earlier if they need to.
That's what I was going to say, Paul, was that a lot of people wouldn't even think that David Gourlay would be interested in that green ball, but because it's jack high, he was trying to work out, is it a shoulder for me to use?
Just dropping short.
One green.
It's an important ball for Kelvin.
You mentioned the shoulder, it's very, very tempting now.
2 green.
What's the first shot?
Surprised David's not coming up, to be honest. First shot would be just a flip.
Last ball's first shot.
Have a little look.
Yes.
Well, it's slightly surprising. David Gourlay going to the mat, inquiring of my dues. He can come have a look for himself.
Well, if the jack high ball's first shot, David Gourlay's looking at that plant, green onto red onto jack. He'll look at that as a possible option. He may well think about playing the forehand, because it's also possible all 3 green balls will go. If he hits the outside one that's jack high, all 3 balls will disappear. One of his own will go, but all the percentages are on the forehand runner. And I'll tell you what, David Gourlay on the forehand runner doesn't miss too many.
Yep.
Well, he's decided on the draw shot in the backhand. I think the plants mustn't be working just right.
It's all about his weight. Has he actually sent it? He's given a real chance. Just needs to rest now. Well, for a moment it did look
2 shots to green.
a little bit on the lazy side, but it gets weight. Doesn't leave much on this carpet. And he ended up going through the head.
Well, he decided to go for the very exact shot, the draw. Oh, it was difficult. A little bit surprised. He's normally quite an attacking player.
Well, he trails by 3 in this, the final. In the quarter-final, they never trail by more than a single shot in a set. In the semi-final, never more by 2. It's the early advantage to Kelvin Kerkow.
Just a little bit loose this end.
1 inch
Neatly
past.
drawn, just an inch past. David Gourlay. Continue on the forehand. And he plays it just with that little bit of weight. There's a target there. He wants the weight of the green ball. And he gets a good result too. Wasn't hanging around that time, David. He might not have played the best shot in the last end, but he wasn't hanging about there.
Yes, I think the last end really annoyed David Gourlay, to be honest with you, because he took the risk of the draw. It didn't work. It's put him in a very difficult position. 3 shots behind. Not letting the head build up this time. He's so good with those runners. I think I would employ them every end. If I was David Gourlay, once the head started to build up against me.
Last word.
Just the one.
Yes, just the one.
So having opened up the head, he now goes to try and go for the drawing shot.
Important ball for Kelvin, this one. He's had the rangefinder. This should be better. And it's worked out very well for him. He's locked into one of the red balls, and that's a lot better than sitting out.
Had to try and get a second ball on the head, or David Gourlay may have been tempted to remove the green. Considering his options.
What he's looking at here is the possibility of running the jack, because he's got a toucher in the ditch and he's got the best red ball at the back. Slightly inside, he might pick the green one out. And there's the toucher. If he runs a jack through, that's a certainty to score. I think he'll probably take his own back ball off on the way, but you'll not worry about that. The alternative is a dead draw.
He's gone with weight. Is the outside edge, or is a big hole to go through? Well, that's a big miss from David Gourlay. He knows to get a couple there. He had the gap closed.
1 shot to green.
It's a hard shot, really. You know, he's going for a single jack, just over 2.5 inches in diameter. It's not an easy target.
He felt it was worth the gamble. Kelvin Kerkow. He's won over 50 major singles titles in Australia. He's taking command of the first set.
What's the gap, please?
1.5 inches.
Almost the ideal opening ball to an end. David Gourlay now. Dominant in his quarter-final, steady in the semi-final, trailing here in the final.
Well, there's plenty of time in these sets, of course, over 11 ends now for the final. We're just approaching the halfway mark in the first set. I don't think anyone would have anticipated that one player would be 4 shots in front of the other at this stage. Once again, Kelvin taking advantage of a loose ball by David Gourlay. There's no doubt about it, Spike feels good today. Had a chat with him as he was rolling up with the green balls, and he was very happy with them. To be fair, he was saying to me that they just come back a little bit more. He said they're a little bit wider. He feels that they're getting back to the centre of the rink.
David Gourlay in red this afternoon. He's first named in the match. There is no choice for the players. They play what they're allocated.
Well, certainly when it comes to colour, it's all on the draw. David Gourlay going for the runner once again on the forehand. Not happy with it, and that's why. Yes, the draw is critical when it comes to where you stand, the top or bottom of it, of the colour of the balls. But of course you've got a choice of what balls you want to use, as long as they're the colour that's on the draw. Not happy. He's in a heap of trouble here. Single ball target. Kelvin might well decide to cover the spot with this ball on the backhand. There's a cover ball.
It's coming down towards the respot.
Oh, it's good enough. Oh, David Gourlay trying to draw this after a runner. Oh, this is not easy. Very few players in the world would even attempt this shot.
Former world number one's attempting it. Not only is he attempting it, he almost got it. Not enough though.
2 shots to green.
Well, it was a gutsy choice.
Certainly was. He just needed a very slight edge off the front red one to bring him online. First set just sliding away a little bit for the Aussie-based Scot, David Gourlay.
When these players met in the Tri-Nations final, it was the Australian who took the initiative in the second set. He'd lost the first, but he then lost the tiebreaker. Here he's taken full command of this opening set.
David's lost his way a little bit with the first delivery, and that's critical in singles play, and he will know that. He's given Kelvin Kerkow a free go almost every end to get in with his second ball.
How's the adjustment from David Gourlay?
One green.
Clear road. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. We got a very slight touch, but it wasn't enough to change the ball on the line. David Gourlay, this is just stacking up. He's in bother again, and the short ball's not helping him either. Needs to stop now. Oh, he's got it. Big recovery ball. He'll be very relieved.
1 red.
Well, if this was a 9-set end, you would fancy Kelvin to already have it wrapped up, but the extra 2 ends in the final means this is still very much alive. And that was a lovely shot, but he's been playing these over the last couple of days for fun. It's just not been with him today.
Well, Kelvin's playing slightly on the inside of the line to try and get to the jack or the bull, so he should be slightly overweight as well. Very close to getting the ball solid. Oh, got it back. And that touch on the jack is an extra bonus.
He's played terrifically well at
1 green.
this opening set.
Yes, it's always a good sign when a player's able to bring his line in by 6 or 8 inches and carry that extra half metre of weight to make sure he was getting there, and Kelvin's well stoked up for this one. He's left David Gourlay a very hard shot. He's also a slightly inside line. Try and make sure he gets back to the jack. Now, has he got the pace?
Just needs to run.
One shot to green.
Oh, it just doesn't feel like it's there at the moment for David Gourlay. He's just probably 6 or 7, 8 inches maybe away from a spectacular game.
He's still lost 5 ends on the bounce though.
It's a problem. It really is a problem. I'm trying to think what he needs to do apart from just win an end to change the length. He's not losing big counts. He's keeping things fairly tight, but he's not scoring. That's the problem.
Fairly lengthy white again from Kelvin. Little opportunity perhaps. To play in his opening sets, and the man in red needs to make a couple count.
Oh, this is interesting.
1 red.
First time
6 inches
for a
from
number
the
of ends that David Gourlay's had an open draw with the second ball to add a double.
Ideally wants to be tucked just behind the white.
Well, it's in. Or at least I thought it was in. The pace was right. The line was just slightly off. It's close.
It's a missed chance though. And David Gourlay will be thinking about that for a moment or two.
How far short's that last ball, please?
Just over 2 feet.
It's adjusted very well.
One green.
Sorry?
1 green.
Well, that's bad news for David Gourlay. He really needs to score this end. Close, very close. Ball first, and then back.
David Gourlay, his opponent gave him the challenge, and he rose to it.
Not only that, but he got a little touch on the green ball, which just nudged it a shade.
Like Davis had said, there was one against him. It looked fairly tight. And this is how he changed it.
Yeah, I think it's 2 Kelvin.
He also got a slight touch on the jack. It made the difference. Well, David Gourlay really needs a double this end. Start giving Kelvin something to think about.
Kelvin looking to play off the backhand.
Well, if he holds on to the line, the weight's not bad. Wrong side, a little bit like David Gourlay the last time coming in this direction.
2 red.
Well, this is not an easy one to add a third, but it would make a big difference to the scoreline.
Well, if he'd had a third, he's then only 4 down, and he will, I mean, from a tactical point of view, does he have to change the length?
I think he must. I think he needs to do something, to be honest. He's not winning the battle of the first 2 balls. This is the first end where he's given Kelvin a bit of a problem.
This is a hard shot for 3. But he's played it.
Oh, that's a brilliant ball. Truly brilliant ball to make the treble. That brings David Gourlay right back into the set.
Well, the first 3 of the Scottish International Open final, he scored just 1-3 against Robert Whale in the semi-final. All the others were 1s or 2s. They are rare creatures indeed.
3 shots to red.
He bowled this one beautifully.
Where's the blow of the cheeks, the relief, and 2 things really there for David Gourlay. One is that he's got the extra shot, the relief of scoring a 3, but also that he's actually managed to put 3 balls together on the one end, which he's been struggling to do in this match so far.
Brought the mat up just a little. Oh, the jack length is long.
Yes, he's on the tee, which is, I think, for the first time going in this particular direction. Once again, he's dropping the first ball nearly a metre away, and he just can't get that first ball operating going down this direction. And he's not going to win this title if he keeps dropping a metre short.
He did prefer the other side of the rink, the backhand, in his last couple of games. He must have felt something in the practice ends told him that he was going to play that forehand, although he did open up on the backhand going this way.
Well, the difference may be that David Gourlay has been playing with the green balls, a set of green balls in the last 2 matches, in fact the last 3 matches, so that might be the case, and that's why he's changed. That's the only thing I can think of.
He's adjusted well. Kelvin, on the other hand, David, preferred this side of the rink against Scott Condell to great effect.
Yes, again he's thinking about things with Kelvin, and he was using the green balls against Scott. He's gone back to the green balls again. That's the reason why. Feels very content.
Has a little look after it. Well, that's even shorter.
Well, he just can't do that, and he knows it. This ball could easily disappear.
Yes.
Oh, Kelvin's got a shot in the backhand to punch the ball out of the head. Well, he looks a little bit on the high side.
He's going to clip his own. Oh, nearly did.
Too fine a clip at that side, to be honest with you. He wanted inside for the red one. David Gourlay, he needs a ball in. If he can score in this end, well, we're really set up for a great finish.
Can David Gourlay take advantage of the format in the final? 11 ends, not 9 as he's played all week, and he needs to try and give that a little kick forward.
1 red.
Last ball's third shot now, isn't it?
Last ball is third shot.
Now, will this change the thinking of the Australian?
Shot ball in relation to Jack High.
1 ball short.
Well, the only danger now for Kelvin is if he runs his own ball off the head, he'll be 2 down. Prior to that, that was not the case.
Gentle again. Slightly tighter line.
I think
There's
he's
red
missed
balls to promote here.
Well, missed chance for both players.
1 shot to red.
Oh, it's David Gourlay. And people might think it's the pressure of playing in a final, but these guys have won so many things before, won so many tournaments. Just the level they're playing at.
That was a bad one. He knows it. That was a chance. If he'd have plucked that ball off or turned the jack, it was almost secured the first set. As it is, 8-5, all to play for.
So David Gourlay wins 2 consecutive ends for the first time in this final. He needs something in here.
Once again, the first ball's not close.
Away for Kelvin Kerkow.
One green.
Well, Kelvin will be trying to protect this single shot. If he can make a double, it's even better. He could close down the set in this one end.
2 green.
What's the gap between
Now
Kelvin's
then,
balls?
David Gourlay.
4 inches. Yes.
I'd like to have a look at this. He's considering the heavy ball, perhaps.
He is. That's why he's asking for the gap between the 2 balls, green and green. 4 inches. He knows if he gets onto the green ball to front, he'll take the other one out, cleans the whistle.
Well, Kelvin knows that the set could be closed out here. And he holds the whip hand.
A forehand runner slightly inside the line. Try and pluck the 2 balls out of the head.
He's looking at it. He's continued to look at it. He liked it. It's not the way he saw it.
That's an even better result.
Now then, Kelvin Kerkow under pressure really for the first time in this opening set. he going to kill on his own?
Well, he's opened the door and got a back position as well.
Which one of mine is the toucher, please?
Which one?
Toucher?
Just trying to see which one is the toucher. I think it's the one to the left, it is.
Well, I think David will be aware of the fact that the respot green will win.
3 inches.
It's making Mike Davis do a fair bit of work down at this end. He could come and look.
It's interesting, he doesn't want to. It's not like David, really. He's normally very measured in his approach to playing various shots. But he wants to put the pressure on Kelvin. He wants to get in for a third ball here. Go into the last end, just needing a single to win the set. David Gourlay could steal this. Oh my goodness, what a turnaround. I'm going to see the big dog coming out now.
Well, he's going to send us right down. The mat almost went flying. Well, that may well have won the set for Kelvin Kerkow. David Kerkow did everything he could.
1 shot to green.
So he takes the single shot. The white having been retrieved from the ditch. Kelvin Kerkow lying 1. And well, that could have been 8-8, but what a way to kill the set.
Yes, this was always the recovery ball from Kelvin Kerkow. He's got this shot in his armoury, this big dog drive, and it's very heavy, very accurate. It's made a massive difference to this set.
Well, he'll be thinking all he has to do is get, well, third shot really, but he did lose a 4 on the 7th end against Paul Foster. And a set that was tied in the end. With a bowling like that, it's not really start to lose a 4.
Well, there's signs that David Gourlay is coming back into some sort of form.
Nicely done again. On this forehand, very inviting, Kelvin Kerkow.
See Kelvin psyched up, he just put his fist against his leg. He knows he's going to win this first set.
David Gourlay's going to send that. Just turned in.
That more or less kills it now. I don't think there's any chance of David getting a 4 from this position. Practice shot for David Gourlay. This is going to get a thin edge, not even. And he's going to carry the balls up.
Two shots and
They
the
will
first set
concede
to green.
the 2. And Kelvin Kerkow takes the opening set of the Scottish International Open final. 11 shots to 5, but the key shot for him with 3 against, well, he went with the, well, to call it a drive is probably an understatement.
Yeah, so this big drive of Kelvin, he's very accurate. An edge off the front ball would have killed it. But he just got the jack absolutely perfect. That was his number 1 target. We smiled at David. He can do it.
And up in the Players' Lounge, the balcony overlooking the rink here at the Jurors Centre in Perth, a very interesting spectator, leader of the Scottish Nationalist Party, Alex Salmon. Alec, a fan of bowls?
Well, I'm a fan of this, fantastic. We've got some great bowls up in the North East in the constituency, but this is really high-power stuff. What an incredible set, you know, with Kelvin coming in there with the slam bang, high-pressure, high-risk shot to win the set. But I'm sure David's going to get blank set number 2.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen David Gourlay be, performing under great pressure this week, and I guess from a Scottish point of view, we're kind of, I've got to be non-partisan, of course, but I'm sure you'll be rooting for him.
Well, if you count David, and he tells me he's a loyal and bank man, and we've got 3 Scots in the top 6 in the world. Now, there's not that many sports we can lay titles, but I spoke to David and Kelvin before the game, and they're great pals off the match, but they're fierce competitors on it, and I think this is going to be really exciting. This is great coverage, incidentally, and I hope that other sponsors are watching this and saying, this is a sport to really get behind, because it's very much a Scottish sport.
Alex, thank you very much indeed.
Pleasure.
The opening 2 bowls of this first end have set us a high standard, and really it's one these players have been playing to for most of the week. Wants to try and just get a touch.
I have a feeling we'll see David Gourlay playing slightly different tactics on the second set. It'll be a different David Gourlay to the first set.
Well, unusually short there from Kelvin Kerkow. Has he done enough once more? Well, that's terrific bowling at the start of this second set from David Gourlay. And there's not much for Kelvin to try and hit.
Well, he has to try and disturb it. He's just playing controlled weight to try and shuffle the bowls at the front. Very close to getting 2 out. Oh. That's a good ball from Kelvin. It gives him a chance. David Gourlay's really come out of the blocks fighting in the second set.
3 red.
Played it nicely with weight. Change onto the backhand. If you can pop one right on top, you will lie a full house. Well, he didn't like it.
No, he's pacey. He really wanted that to be a lot closer. Kelvin Kerkow was in a heap of trouble this end, and he could actually draw the shot.
Well, David Gourlay didn't even leave his ball on that side of the rink in the way. And you put your money on the Australian internationalist. Come in and draw, all he has to do is stop. Well, I'll give that a little look, but David Gourlay knows he's lost the opening end of this second set. It was looking so good for him again, but Kelvin just took it away with a controlled weight. Kelvin Kerkow has never won this title. He's won 3 times in Wales. David Gourlay, the winner of the 2002 Scottish International Open, who beat Dan Burnett, who himself was playing rather well today. Dan Burnett running well in New Zealand. his first ball radar seems to have repaired itself.
Yes, it's getting back into form. Feeling this would be the case in the second set. And Kelvin got out of trouble the last time, but David will be wanting to ask the same sort of questions again. Good recovery.
So, remaining on the forehand once more, David Gourlay. Close again. Oh, just don't look quite. Kelvin, a little grimace as his ball goes up. What's the grimace about? Comes across.
One green.
Remains just the one for green. The hand remains open. Still watching it, David Gourlay, hoping that's just going to drop in. Just look to take too much off.
Well, it's not an easy one for David Gourlay to get out of.
Kelvin Kerkow will worry about the match in a slightly different way. He knows the worst he can do is take it to a tie-break situation if he doesn't win this second set. Although David Gourlay almost comes into his own in the tie-breaks. Forehand again.
As you say, Paul, he certainly won't want to do that, but this looks like a very wide ball. There's the cover coming in. And the respot covered. This is a problem for David Gourlay. He's looking at front green onto shot green. He's looking at the red ball into the head. There's two different options. The forehand's not very appetising the way it's sitting. Danger on the backhand is if you get this wrong, it could actually cost him more shots. It's a little 2 or 3 metre runner on the forehand to push the red ball onto the jack.
Forehand selected.
Well, he's going a bit stronger, but he's struggling to get back.
Don't think he's changed it at all. It will be one shot to green.
One shot to green.
Kelvin Kerkow reels off 4 consecutive ends 10-11 of the first set, and the first 2 here in the second. And David Gourlay remains up against it. These pair have played in the final already in 2006. They battled together in the World Indoor Pairs. David Gourlay coming out on top with Billy Jackson. Another long white played by Kelvin.
To go to the backhand to try and rest this green ball off. It's shaping up a little bit like the first set. He was out of the blocks in the first hand really well, David Gourlay, but Kelvin recovered the situation and he's starting to apply a little bit of pressure. Needs the jack. Oh dear, and that makes it an awful lot harder.
I wonder if he's starting to think it's not quite his day.
Show me where the spot is there, please, Mark.
This way.
Kelvin asking to be shown the respot just in case his opponent comes with the drive.
Two green.
So respot covered. The trouble with David is that when he goes chasing these situations, he's going to waste balls. And that's what's happening. 2 shots against him.
Well, Kelvin may think he's got things covered. He may decide to come with a back ball, but it's hard to see what David Gourlay's going to do to stop his opponent taking the shot at this end. Wanted best back ball.
Well, still a problem here with David Gourlay to try and keep his own ball in the head. He can take one away, but he wants to try and score if he can. Still not getting back with pace.
Well, Kelvin Kerkow is taking control of this second set. Well, David Gourlay has won the opening set of 3 of the previous 4 matches played, but he's certainly up against it. Well, a big Scottish crowd here, and they are going for the Scots-Australian, but it's not worked out that way for them.
No, they'll be a little bit disappointed at the moment. They want to get behind David Gourlay as much as possible, but he's just been outplayed, really. That's all. Kelvin's doing the business, as they say. He's a hard guy to beat, no doubt about that.
So again, persisting with the forehand. It's not a bad opening ball. Kelvin decides to change onto this backhand. He needs shots. He needs shots, and he can't afford to be short.
Well, it's consistency's not there, and it's at this stage of the match that David Gourlay will start to think about all the other finals he's been in recent years, and wondering what have I got to do to win one of these.
He's lost his last 5 World Bowls Tour finals. It's singles. And he's a man who's used to winning events. Nothing to do with nerve. And he's come up today against Kelvin Kerkow, who's playing a terrific game.
It's half an inch off.
Well, he's playing a terrific game, but to be honest, you have to think to yourself, Paul, he's been allowed to play a terrific game. David really hasn't put him under tremendous pressure, and I would like to see that for a couple of ends. See what would happen. He's very close to this, though. Clean ball and onto the green. Oh, what a result. Oh. Well, you get days like this, there's no doubt about it, but it's rare you get 5 or 6 finals like this in the trot.
Looked a lovely line for the moment it left his hand.
Any movement on the jack was good. Now he's going to have to play a very good ball to recover. It's hard to believe Kelvin Kerkow actually lifted the red ball to play it.
And somebody in the crowd had a little word with him.
It's just as well. It would have been interesting to see what would have happened if that had been going up the rink.
Well, if you play your opponent's ball, the umpire then Mark have some chatting to do.
Well, the way things are going, David would have been quite happy for Kelvin to play the ball, to be honest. He bangs it on the jack.
3 green.
Yeah, we look up at the commentary box as well there.
Oops.
How do you embarrass an Australian? Oh, look, quick, hide it.
Well, David's left with no choice but to run this again. Look for the 3 balls out of the head or the jack. Backhand runner. He's very close to the balls this time.
It's another big shot in the match. He wants the white as well.
Well, I don't think he's got enough of it.
It remains 2 green.
2 shots to
just
green.
Resigned there, just the 2. Just no result again.
Edge the jack, single ball. At worst, he would have hoped for 2 of the green balls to go out of the head clean. But it's not his day at the moment. Kelvin Kerkow had an 8-1 lead after 7 on the first set. He's now 6-0 after 4 in the second.
Kelvin Kerkow has won 2 titles in the last 10 events. Quarterfinals are better, 6 in the last 11, including the Scottish International Open, and he is looking to be crowned the Scottish International Open champion for the first time, and he couldn't have asked for a better start to the first set and to the second.
Oh, this is better.
Well, David Gourlay just asking if Kelvin is lying the shot.
It's close, but I favour yours, David.
How far shots Kelvin's last ball?
It's 14 inches short of jack high.
Safe enough to come around that. An element of danger if he touches the ball over. Just the pace, the line was good.
I think I'm down Mike there.
Kelvin might be interested in the backhand with this.
It's good measure, but I do favour red.
It's interesting. It's dropping a little bit on the inside. And that's certainly not going to help.
How far short is this ball now?
About 12 inches short of
Checking
Jack.
how far short, 12 inches.
I think David needs to slow this game down a little bit. He hasn't been coming up and looking at heads. He's had all the time in the world to do that, and he needs to slow the game down. It's going too quickly. And it's in Kelvin's favour when a game's going quickly and you let the guys leading dictate that pace. That's exactly what's happening at the moment.
Measure for shots.
Comes up the backhand again. What's he going to disturb?
Best possible result. Well, David's coming up. I think it might be 2 to green. It's confirmed by marker Mike Davies. Kelvin got the perfect result by the touch on the jack first and then the bowl. Well, this is looking so good for the Aussie. David's left with no shot but to play exactly the same as Kelvin. Well, he's played a little runner to this. He must be able to see it, but it's very difficult to get to the jack.
He needs something, and as he's been doing for most of the match, he's found gaps and holes.
2 shots to green.
And David Gourlay's dream of winning this title that he last won in 2002 is starting to turn into a little bit of a nightmare.
He's normally so good at these timing shots, but just too strong on this occasion. I can understand him playing it. He wanted to run the jack through, but it was the harder of the 2 shots than to play just an overweight draw.
Well, the scoreline says it all. These last couple of finals, he's found life difficult. Came up against Greg Harlow in the Engage at Sheffield. Lost in straight sets. Before that, he was also a finalist in the Welsh Open in February. He lost 11-8, 11-2.
Yes, and even during that game against Jason Greenslade in the final of the Welsh, David Gourlay only scored on 6 ends out of the 17 that were played. He really had a hard time, a torrid time against Jason.
So far he's scored on 3 of 16.
One red.
This ball needs to find the centre of the rink and in behind the jack. Well, when you play 2 balls like that, you wonder how on earth David Gourlay's 8-0 down.
2 red.
What's the jack in relation? Which is
Well, Kelvin.
Short bowl is the shot bowl,
No,
and
he's
it's
got
an
a
inch
little
off the jack.
bit of a cushion.
Second bowl
He
is
might just
3
have a
inches
little,
past jack high.
little run at this.
I just want to shake it up a little bit. It doesn't need to go too pacey. If he goes pacey, he'll take everything away.
my green bowl. How far short my short green bowl? How far off the red bowl?
Well, he's
That's
looking
off
at
the red
this
ball,
and
3.5
green
inches.
ball there. If he gets the edge, the jack will fly off the side of the rink.
Well, Davis getting out the way. Well, you just saw a very rare thing, a Kelvin Kerkow miss with a drive.
And David should stay away from this because Kel might go again.
That'll be one tactical ball and then perhaps a chance to draw again if the head's not disturbed. But mind you need shots.
I think that's what he's got in his mind, that he needs shots. He's trying to find the centre of the rink again on this line. Just dropping in behind, that's fair enough, that's no problem. It might change Kelvin's mind. He might decide, hang on a minute here, I don't want to lose any more than 2 shots. And that's why he's going back to the draw. A sensible head put on by Kelvin.
He needs to make sure he's past the whites, even if he gets nothing, because he takes the possibility of the full house away.
Straightforward draw. David Gourlay needs to add another. Try and get a 3. I think if he's on the backhand's a safer shot. Try and drop on that side, fall back. It's the last ball of the end. Danger in the forehand, although he might prefer the forehand, as he could spring the ball onto Jack. Has to be very careful of that. Well, he's going on the forehand. Well, I can understand it because he prefers the forehand. It's just a little bit more dangerous there. Hasn't got the same margins to play with. Got a chance.
Oh, he just needs to sweep it in a little bit further. Well, he'll accept the double.
Well, he really needed the extra, to be honest, and he's still 6 behind. 7 shots to be scored and 5 ends possible.
Well, he fought back strongly in the first set. A real key drive by Kelvin Kerkow in the 10th end.
On the tee.
But Kelvin Kerkow looks like he's the man that will get his hands on the Scottish International Open trophy. Great British Mobility Group, Scottish International Open. The final played over 11 ends, 2 sets.
No dramatic change from David Gourlay on the mat length or the jack length. The problem he has for playing Kelvin on the very short ends, of course, is that Kelvin's so strong on the drive that he can just kill everything. He respotted jacks all over the place, and David Gourlay needs to set up positions to try and score multiples.
Tell you what, if David Gourlay put the white on the ice rink next door, it wouldn't be safe from that Australian.
And he's added another.
Looks a nice weight. Nice ball all round.
One green.
Backhand, try and turn the jack if he can.
Continues to watch it. He likes it.
Well, on another day, I would have just held up to the green ball, edged it off for 3.
6 inches.
But not today for David Gourlay.
Line touching the jack?
No, about 1/4 of an inch.
There's the position ball. That's very good as well. It's just everything's going right here. Kelvin's playing well, and he's just getting the odd result to add to that good play. David Gourlay's forced yet again to play a very difficult shot, to try and get a shot.
He's found it tricky a couple of times coming down that backhand in this second set. He has held out, but he's closer there. But again, just won't bend in.
One green.
I mean, there's no hope he'll give up, but you must feel it slipping away.
Kelvin has to be a little bit careful here. I think he, similar to the last ball, he's looked at the forehand. I don't know why, because what he's looking at here is to drift onto this ball, drop inside. If he drifts onto that one, very similar to his last, he'll get a double. If he gets a double here, I would suggest that's virtually the match over.
He has a 6-shot advantage. There are 4 ends left to play. And that 6 is about to go to an
8. 2 shots to green.
Well, I think that's a step too far now for David Gourlay. He really needed to score in this end. And all credit to Spike. Made the extra shot count.
Well, he's such a talented player, the Commonwealth singles holder. Won in Melbourne. His first ball at times, David, has been fantastic. He's just put all the pressure onto his opponent.
It's that first ball in on top of the jack, and I know Kelvin feels very relaxed at the moment. He was delighted to get ranking points in this event. I don't really think he had
One red.
any idea that he was going to come to the final and do this to David Gourlay, to be honest. But he has played very well indeed.
Ranked 9 in the world. He is the 9th seed for this event, but the provisional ranking, because they calculate the rankings after each event, he was slipped out to 14. He'll be shooting back up those ranks, the provisional list.
Yes, the ranking points and of course the prize money. Take back to Australia, convert the pounds back into Australian dollars, and it starts to look very healthy.
How is the exchange rate these days?
2.5 million.
Oh, that'll do. And again,
One green.
it's not gone David Gourlay's way. He was up, he wanted to change things. And Kelvin Kerkow is the first player since the first round of this tournament to get into double figures in both sets. Since the first round.
Yes, of course, the first round you've got a lot of players who don't normally play a lot of indoor. Some of the overseas players come here and struggle. Normally after that, you know, you're in for tight matches, but David Gourlay must look to play this into the head. Very quickly try and get to the own ball, slip inside. He must play this because any touch in the ball will help. Yes, he's looking at the little runner. Green ball, run through. Oh, he was running through, but the green ball came across and blocked him out. Oh,
2 green.
That's unbelievable.
Well, 2 shots against him. He was trying to move. He did so. Sometimes the bowling gods are not on your side.
See this on the hit. He hits the green ball. Now watch the ball running through. He's going to run through. The green ball comes across and blocks him out. Well, it's not your day. It's just not your day. He'll be going back to the parents' house and having a quiet night tonight, I think, before he makes his way back to Australia.
Kelvin Kerkow will not have so quiet a night, you suspect.
Well, he hopes to be on an airplane, to be honest. He's got a fast taxi ready to go after this,
3
straight
green.
down to Edinburgh. He's then got to make a very quick connection over to the flight to Hong Kong. Well, he hopes to do that this evening, but it looks like he's going to do it as champion. David Gourlay looking at all the angles here. And he's got a shot on the backhand. He gets that. There it goes. The 2 green will disappear, possibly even this green as well. If he gets the angle absolutely perfect, but the way things have been going for David Gourlay, highly unlikely.
3 out of the 4 matches he's played, he's won in tie breaks in the Scottish International Open. He's going to try and find his way to a tie break in this final. Backhand with weight.
Oh, I can't believe David Gourlay missed that. That's a big, big head of bowls for David Gourlay to miss.
3 shots to green.
Well, I think the next hand will be the last in David Gourlay's quest to win this title.
Well, it was a head that was so big it had to be hit. I'm not sure that David Gourlay has missed too many like that in big matches.
Oh, it's a lovely feeling for Spike Kerkow to be sitting 13-2. First set in the back pocket, 3 ends to go. Your opponent has to score 4 shots in this end. Quite unbelievable.
Well, we were talking last night about this final, David, and we expected it to be exceptionally tight. The score sheet shows that David Gourlay has just won 4 ends in the match. Just once has he taken consecutive ends.
A little bit of defiance from David Gourlay. And Spike's just
1 red.
trying to close the end down, forcing David Gourlay to put 4 balls within 8 inches of the jack. And even then he's got the big drive to get out of trouble.
Well, when you look back at the match, that drive in the 10th end, which could have seen David Gourlay go level at 8 apiece, the shot going to Kelvin Kerkow. A seminal moment of the match.
Dropping inside, and David's going to have to start to remove green balls. He's not wasting any time. He's accepted defeat. And David, although he'll be disappointed, the ranking points will keep him up in provisional number 2 in the world.
World number 1, the provisional number 1, Greg Harlow, defeated in the semi-final by Kelvin Kerkow. Greg did have a chance to take it to the tie-break. These players aren't hanging around.
Well, David will be shaking hands now.
1 shot to red, 2nd set, and the match for Kelvin Kerkow.
Well, it just brings down his ball. He didn't need to play it. He knew it was all over. The handshake from the Australian. But the obvious delight for Kelvin Kerkow, who had a tough week, and this is the first match he's taken both sets. He did tremendously well. The Scottish International Open champion is Kelvin Kerkow.
Kelvin Kerkow, the Scottish International Open champion. The quality of bowling today truly was wonderful, but Kerkow was definitely on song today, and he's in the money as well. Please welcome the presentation party to announce the Scottish International Open. It's the Nigel Oldfield from the World Bowls Tour and Tim Hedgecock from the tournament sponsors. And runner up in the Scottish International Open 2006, please welcome David Gourlay. And the great British mobility group Scottish International Open champion 2006 from Australia, Kelvin Kerkow. Kelvin Kerkow, and today that was just fantastic. We've watched you improve all week. Your quality of the balls has been wonderful, but today you were just totally on song.
Yeah, just everything went right. Got off to a good start in the first set once again, so that sort of set the pattern, I guess, and I won the first set, so I had pressure on David, but I'm just happy to have got better throughout the week and made him over the moon.
Yeah, Kelvin he put a lot of pressure on you, David. I mean, just one of those days for you, because if you were in close, he would get inside you.
Yeah, I thought Kelvin was immense today, Every time I looked as if I was maybe building ahead, he would just close it down right away, so there's nothing you can do about that. I've played a lot worse in one games, so he was fantastic.
Kelvin, you said before the match that you keep the socks on from the start of the week. I have to say, from where I'm standing, you still smell pretty fresh, but they certainly worked out pretty lucky as well.
Mate, unbelievable. Superstition, there you go, it works.
It certainly does. I mean, also, ranking points were very important to you before this week, and you're going to be way up the rankings now.
Yeah, you know, like I lost my first round in Sheffield to Richard Morgan, and I thought it went okay, but he played well, and a bit more pressure on me here to perform well, and to come out on top is just absolute bonus. So over the moon.
Absolutely. And David Gourlay, so many finals. You're just getting over that line. You've been to so many finals recently. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's just one of these things. I'd settle for getting to the final every time, to be honest. But there's nothing I could do today. Kelvin was fantastic. So.
Absolutely. You've won the Welsh a couple of times, and you've now won the Scottish. The World's pretty, in the new year, is that the next focus?
I haven't won a game there in 2 years in singles, so third time lucky maybe, but yeah, it's next goal obviously, and we'll look forward to coming back.
Absolutely, and you can defend your title here next year as well, and we look forward to seeing you, the Scottish International Open champion 2006, Kelvin Kerkow. Well, Kelvin Kerkow has a cheque for £10,000 and that trophy that he's going to take to Australia tonight in his hand luggage. He's the champion here. But of course, yesterday we crowned a young champion, the young Scottish Masters champion. The final was between Gary Malcolmson and Christopher Steen. Chris Steen from East Fife plays from the Kirkland High School. His favourite bowler, Alex Marshall, started playing at the age of 4. And Gary Malcolmson from Wallace High School in Stirling started playing at 2 years old at his gran and grandfather's house. He's obviously from Stirling Indoor Club. And Malcolmson started really strongly indeed. He took the first set 11-2. We joined the match in the third end of the second set. The score is 2-all. Commentary from Paul Mitchell and David Corkill.
So it's interesting to see the comparisons with the two players when we look up some of the information on them. Gary supports Rangers and Christopher supports Celtic.
And the Rangers fans in green, just to confuse us even more.
Using different manufacturers' bowls as well. When you look at the standard of play, it does not certainly indicate the age of the two players. Look at this. Oh, this is fantastic bowling. Of course, in the commentary box we're always supplied with information on the two guys, and when you look down their profiles, and one of them says, and hobbies and interests, he says, hanging around with me mates.
You can't beat it.
I think to myself, well, that is just wonderful. It's exactly what the professional players do as well.
And they do that
too.
Outstanding play. Drew Green.
Close again. A little touch. Just short of it. Well, that's a little bit unfortunate for Christopher, because if anything he wanted to be behind the head, which is exactly where Gary should be with this one. Well, both players failing to get position, and if Christopher's going to make a disturbance in this head, he better do it with this one. If he misses it, he goes behind the head. Well, that gives him an option.
chasing it in, he's got his own one. Just going to go through.
To green.
That was a heavy draw, trying to turn his own ball over. The fact that he's dropped behind is useful. I would like to have seen that ball deep though.
Change of hand for Gary Malcolmson. He will want to make sure he's got the best back ball.
Oh, that's good. That's very good. I think it's worth hitting this because on the respot, I think it'll work. If he gets into the 2 balls, that will go. The green and the jack will go, but the respot is over here, and that will bring the 2 reds, possibly the 3 reds into play, if he manages to get the angle right. Definitely worth hitting, and hitting as hard as he can. I would recommend to hit this on the forehand because the target's wider on the forehand. There's more balls to come off if you're not bang on, so you're increasing your percentages.
It's the forehand drive.
Oh, that was a horrible result. Well, I thought he was hitting that perfect, and that was very cruel. We'll have to see this one on the replay.
He's picked up 1 ball. He's having a look. I think he fancies his own.
2 shots green.
Well, it's not. It's the green ball that gets the nods. He played this with a great degree of accuracy and pace though, David.
He did, but he was looking for the split. He got a solid on the outside, only a touch on the green. It's his own ball following through that caused the problem. It picked up the jack, and, well, I think that's a fair reaction. Great disappointment. Very good ball from Christopher.
Oh, it's Gary Malcolmson, who's a fan of David Gourlay. He's leading in the second set.
If you're going to try and emulate a player, it's not a bad player to pick out. David Gourlay. Going very well. Already on the tour this year. Runner-up in Sheffield, of course. And Engaged Mutual International Open, and through here to the semi-final, playing extremely well.
Christopher is a big fan of Alex Marshall.
Not bad either. 3 times world champion.
Well, yesterday David Gourlay got the better of Alex Marshall.
Yes, Paul, but when we look back at some of the great players in the world of bowls, and Scotland features very highly there, especially on the singles side. You start going through the world champions and players of note. Some not playing now, of course. Richard Corsie, people like that. Hugh Duff as well, double world champion.
2 green.
And if these guys are anything to go by, the young Gabe's at a pretty good state too.
Well, I think in terms of success, when you look at the world of bowls, Scotland, it's really their national game in many ways, because they're right up there and have been leading the world for many years.
Got a good club structure as well at the younger level. Many people willing to give up their time to coach these young guys. These players played 5 matches to get here. Christopher Steen is taking out the 3 green balls there to lie the shot.
Well, that was a big recovery ball. Really needed that. Look at this.
Oh, that's terrific again.
Reacting to the pressure, and Christopher immediately turns onto the backhand. This is actually quite a good option because he can see the ball and the jack on the backhand. Now, will he get an edge? He's a little bit on the high side. No damage done. But again, tactically, the right shot to play.
Well, Gary Malcolmson has been behind just once in this match, the first end, lost of this second set, where he's in control once more.
Absolutely nothing wrong with this Cubs game, is there? We have an international panel back home in Ireland which I play on, and I've been told next week we're playing against the under-25 guys who have just been selected, and there's a lot of teenagers that play for that, and it's great fun to play against them. You have to raise your game a little bit because they're out to get you, and there's an enthusiasm about their play as well, Paul. You know, there's an excitement about it. I love playing against the young Cubs. Of course, you're on a hiding to nothing.
Oh, that's it. That's the problem, isn't it?
Trouble is that not only are they out to get you, but inevitably, occasionally they do. And by heavens, they let you know about it afterwards in the bar, I can tell you.
Well, Christopher and Gary might be a little young for the bar facilities, but I'll tell you what, they must be dangerous players at any level. They've been so consistent, especially Gary here. Always interesting to look at a young player's delivery as well.
There it goes, right in again, humming in the line. He's picking the line out so well, coming down this direction.
3 green.
And once again, Christopher forced into playing pace. Very close to the jack. 2 balls would do. Got one of them. He's going to have to go back to dead weight with the next ball, and that's very difficult.
I mentioned that the heroes are David Gourlay and Alex Marshall respectively. It's an awful lot like that game yesterday. The relentless drawing of the man in green, and the man in red having to try and make something happen.
Yeah, let's go and have a look at it. Christopher, it's not going to be very pleasant when you get up there, but you must look at it. 3, possibly 4 against him.
Well, Christopher having a look, but your options?
Well, I really think he needs to draw with this, to be honest, because even if he hits it, the respot's not good. Best he can do is take 2 out if he goes at it straight. Oh, well, the ball's just dropped down. That's changed it.
Chris, that ball has just fallen.
Now that makes a big difference, because before that the jack was going off the rink without a doubt. And with the ball dropping, well, that changes things quite considerably. I would heavy draw this. I think I would aim for this back ball to try and rest that for second, knowing that if I get under the shot ball, the jack will spring through for a single. So the target's for second shot, with the option of getting the shot if you hit the shot ball.
Trailing by 3 in the second set. Possible full house against them.
And the danger going heavy, of course, is that if you miss the head, you're going to lose a big count.
It's controlled weight, but is he going to get a result?
Oh, well, I think he's been a little bit fortunate. He knows he missed the line, but I think he saved a couple.
He goes and has a look. 1 gone. He doesn't want to concede a second, that's for sure.
2 shots green.
He has to, though. It's always a difficult moment. You're looking at the angles, hoping something's going to happen for you.
Well, very fortunate to hit the front ball, but a heavier connection, he would have actually made the shot. Tactically, I don't think it was really the right shot to play, but at least he was up, he gave it a chance. And I think it's very hard. You have to bear in mind, the chap's 13 years of age. You know, it's easy for me sitting up here watching a game like this, having played the game for 36 years and 30 years of that at international level. So, well, these Cubs have only been playing the game for a short period, really. In Christopher's case, of course, his mum's on the international team and she's part of the Scottish elite squad. So there's a lot of help there.
Chris qualified here in Perth for this final, but he doesn't like that backhand at all. Gary Malcolmson started playing when he was 2 at his gran and grandpa's house.
Yes, of course, that's with the little carpet balls. Same ones that they probably use on the snooker tables, actually. Brilliant fun.
He obviously got the love of the game.
Well, Christopher's just gone walkabout after that running ball, I think, at last end, and just shaking his weight a little bit. It's a great art to be able to play heavy and then get back to drawing weight. Takes years of practice. In the meantime, Gary's making it hurt. He adds another.
3 green.
Christopher's played a couple of great balls when he's had to. He needs another one now.
He's just on the wrong side. A clear road, that ball would have dropped in for shot.
2 green.
Well, he's been pretty relentless, Gary Malcolmson. Been drawing nicely on the forehand, trying to put the pressure on again.
Well, it's still there on the backhand.
3 green.
Christopher, if he wants to play it, he just needs to narrow down a little bit. His pace was good. It looks like 3 shots to green at the moment. He could rest the shot ball, which is nearly jack high. 2 or 3 options on the backhand. That's why I would play it. If he misses that ball and gets the back one, he gets second. If he's inside, he might even get the jack. Oh, he didn't like the way that got away, and I wonder if he's just pushing through it. I think he's given it a chance myself. He gets the ball solid and the jack. Yes, well done. He didn't like it, but it was good. Big recovery ball.
1 red.
Well, it's still not going to be easy, but he manages to keep himself in this match. He certainly showed glimpses of what he's capable of.
Well, that's great at that age, because you know as time goes on, the execution of the shots will come good with experience. The fact that he's picking them out, he's picking out the right shot to play most of the time, Paul, and that's, you know, that's rare. That's the thing. We can have some great players whose tactical knowledge is absolutely off the wall. This guy's tactical play is very, very solid. And to be fair to Gary, he keeps setting the positions up because he's decorating the jack end after end.
What would be interesting from the match point of view is for Chris to dot a few around and actually see what Gary's got in terms of how he gets out of the hole.
get the impression that he's a very good all-round player, Gary. He's playing to his strengths at the moment because he doesn't need to do anything else. He's just draw, 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 and that sort of level and consistency of drawing breaks a player's heart. There's no doubt about it. Very difficult to play against. Well, the first two balls are creating problems for Christopher.
It's the 15-year-old from Stirling who is drawing superbly in this match.
I have to say, some of the professionals would have struggled against this guy today. There's no doubt about it. Here's the big drive. Once again, he's close. Oh, well played. Oh, early and hard. That'll go on the respot. Very good strike.
He certainly didn't hang about waiting to see what's going to happen. He just wanted to disturb things.
Well, that ball went down with some pace for a 13-year-old.
He's been watching Kelvin Kerkow.
Well, I've been watching this guy's play, and to be honest with you, the way he sort of steps off the mat, he's very like Paul Foster. Christopher. Just watching that drive, the way he brought the hand back as well, very reminiscent of Paul Foster's play.
Haven't opened it up. He needs now to draw inside that green ball.
Looks pacey. Well, he couldn't make the last bit of the jigsaw fit, I'm afraid. He's going to lose a double here.
Well, if he'd managed to nail the white, he might have had a little chance, an opportunity.
It's sliding away now. There's no doubt that Gary Malcolmson's continuous play has been so strong. The draw, draw, draw all the time. He picks up another double. Well, I think we'll see him close down the match in this end.
15 ends have been played. He's won 12 of them.
Yes, that extra 2 years of playing, that extra 2 years of maturity can make all the difference at this age. Makes no difference when you get a bit older, of course. But Gary Malcolmson has been very, very impressive. Smooth delivery, very, very good memory. This teenager for line and weight.
He's in again. The man from Stirling who plays at the Stirling Bowling Club.
Well, I hope they look after him because this kid's got so much talent. There's no doubt about it. Both of them have. I hope the clubs look after that and nurture it. There's absolutely no doubt about their stars of the future. The stars now, the way they're playing. Oh, look at this. Oh, he may go out this hand, Christopher Steen, but he's still capable of showing his skill. Oh, this is very close. if he clears the front one. Beautiful weight too.
Well, Chris is chasing shots to try and stay in the match. Virtually impossible.
So he's trying to make a disturbance with this. Front green one to move the jack. Just under. He's going to lose the ball. He has to score 3 shots on this end, which is virtually impossible now. So Gary's got one hand on the trophy.
Second hand's not very far away either. Just covering round the back.
I think that's the end of the party. It's been a wonderful display by Gary Malcolmson. Draw, draw, draw the vast majority of the match, and he's done it with wonderful precision. Shot play from Christopher Steen has been excellent on occasions. Certainly choosing of what shot to play has been outstanding. Execution might need just a little bit more experience. But for 2 young cubs to be on the portable rink, what an experience this is for both of them, really. As bowlers play all their lives trying to get here.
And the crowd they played in front of encouraged them all the way. It's a nervous thing in itself, playing in front of so many people.
It's add in the television cameras and everything else as well, Paul. So I wonder they're still standing.
Well, he's not going to do it, I don't think. He's trying to come in, disturb something. It's all over. A terrific exhibition from both players, but on the day, Gary Malcolmson just too strong. He dropped just 3 ends in the whole match, and Gary Malcolmson is the Scottish Young Masters champion. He wins by 2 sets to 0.